As a reminder, the Phantasmal Flames release schedule makes less sense than my VOD's channel, because it isn't monetized yet. Yes, if you haven't heard me mention 100 times already, the Mega Gengar and Mega Diancie Mega Battle decks released on October 23rd in Pokemon TCG Live with a physical launch the next day. The MSRP is $15 US, but don't be surprised if stores charge quite a bit more for the 60 card decks. What this means is that 19 of the 94 new cards are out 3 weeks ahead of Phantasmal Flames' official launch on November 13th. While the Mega Gengar deck is absolutely worth buying, with the Mega Diancie one not as much, it might be more smarter to wait until next month for single prices to go down. Speaking of singles going down, the 2025 Trainer's Toolkit is also out on the 23rd in live and the next day physically. Priced at $35, it'll have a copy of Pheasantipity EX, potentially lowering the cost of one of the best cards in Standard. You'll also get plenty of other trainers and 4 packs, making it absolutely worth the money if you don't mind turning into Usain Bolt and sprinting to grab one at Costco while a scalper and a motorized scooter tries to take out your legs. Getting back to Phantasmal Flames, we begin the buyer's guide with every worthwhile trainer. Arguably, the best one is Battle Coliseum, or Battle Cage, or Combat Cage as it's probably going to be called in English. This stadium protects bench Pokemon from damage counters being placed on them due to your opponent's attacks and abilities. Mainly, this stops Dragapult, Dusclops, Dusknoir, Munkidori, and I think Frostlass. There's some murkiness with the translation on Coliseum in regards to Frostlass, so we'll have to wait for official confirmation, but I feel like it should be stopped. Ultimately, you want at least 2 Coliseums in your collection. Evolution decks specifically want to use this as it protects you against a slow start, or they'll bump your Coliseum, rendering it useless. Still, the mere fact that it exists is a major help. Just be aware that you might end up wanting a 3rd copy to try and win the stadium more. One reason Battle Coliseum isn't the end for decks that spread damage counters like their cheeks is Blowtorch. Anyone running Fire Energy, like Dragapult, can just discard 1 Fire Energy from their hand to get rid of a tool or special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon or any stadium in play. You only need 1 Blowtorch, but its versatility is vast. Not only can Dragapult grab it off Arven to bump a Coliseum, Cerulege can use it in the mirror to discard Legacy Energy, or Charizard can get rid of a Hero's Cape, bringing someone into KO range. Speaking of evolution decks, Dawn is here to say goodnight to Jacques and Brock, though Hilda is still safe. Plenty of Stage 2 decks will want at least 1 copy of Dawn, as it gets you any basic Stage 1 and Stage 2. Dragapult, Charizard, and Alakazam are the biggest users of Dawn so far in Japan, though how many you need is undetermined. Some have as little as 1, while some go for a full 4. I say go crazy, get a full playset, and enjoy the added consistency. If you're anything like me, you've got wondrous feet. And come October 23rd, you'll also be able to have a Wondrous Patch. That's right, thanks to the Mega Diancie deck, it'll be available 3 weeks before Phantasmal Flames. It mostly helps out Alakazam, accelerating a Psychic Energy from the discard pile to a bench Psychic Pokemon. But other Psychic types like Team Rocket's Mewtwo and Lily's Clefairy can find a use for it. You really only need 2 copies this year because we still have Gardevoir EX and Xatu in format. Once those rotate early next year though, we might see Wondrous Patch in a lot more decks, because Psychic decks will need all the help they can get once the least useful Pokemon in Smash Bros. Leave Standard. Less important trainers still worth thinking about under certain circumstances are Grimsley's Move, Punk Helmet, Big Ice Cream, and Fire Breather. Punk Helmet is a better Rocky Helmet specifically for Dark types, retaliating for 4 damage counters instead of 2. Grimsley's Move, meanwhile, allows you to look at the top 7 cards of your deck and place any 1 Dark-type Pokemon you find there on your bench. Stack a Mega Gengar EX on top with Academy at night, use Grimsley's on any turn except your first, and now they potentially take 1 less prize card with a KO. Neither of these are must-haves, but Grimsley allows you to skip the foreplay of having a weak Gastly in play and jump right into the action with Mega Gengar. Licking at Big Ice Cream, this is a good card. It immediately outclasses Super Potion, healing 80 damage from your active if it has 3 or more energy attached. Mega Kangaskhan, Crustle, Mega Venusaur, Waldex, and more want some of that ice cream. But we do exist in a world of one-hit KOs, so healing takes the backseat. Still, if you enjoy slurping down white sticky things, 4 Big Ice Cream are a must. Similarly, Fire Breather is also a useful card. Play it, grab 7 Fire Energy from deck. The issue here is that Golden Go would have to change its entire strategy of doing things with Lunatone and Solrock, removing fighting for fire. Additionally, Mega Charizard X EX with Oricorio EX wouldn't hate it either. But I don't see Fire Breather making a huge impact until Earth and Vessel rotates in March with the rest of the G-Block cards. Basically, the Fire and Ice cards are good to have, they're just not must-owns. In terms of trainers to completely skip, those are Sacred Charm and Vertigo Valley. We already have things like Defiance Vest, Rock Chestplate, Full Metal Lab, and Iron Defender to reduce incoming damage, except they rarely see play. Sacred Charm requires them to have an ability, which things like Dragapult and Mega Lucario don't. As for Vertigo Valley, confusion remains upon evolution, except they can still switch or retreat, making it useless outside of a couple niche decks. There's a total of 10 Pokemon EX in Phantasmal Flames, 6 Megas, and 4 regular. It's kinda sad, like spilling a full bottle of foot lotion, but out of those 10, only 4 are worth truly caring about. Yes, it's not just the size of Phantasmal Flames that's disappointing, it's also the quality. So immediately cast Mega Heracross, Rotom, Mismagius, and Empoleon out of your mind. Like a YouTuber's opinion, they don't matter. Though I'll definitely make videos on Heracross and Rotom and make you think they're good, forcing you to waste thousands of credits on them. Anyway, for the EXs you want, get a single copy of Mega Diancie. It's replacing Mega Gardevoir and Gardevoir EX decks, giving you a big body attacker with effectively 350 hit points once you attach a Bravery Charm. Do your normal Gardevoir things with Psychic Embrace and Monkey Dory, then win even more games than you used to because the Pokemon Company has a bigger crush on Gardevoir than I do. I've always said Mega Charizard X EX is a 2026 card. The fact that Charizard EX players are jamming just a single copy into their list confirms my hypotenuse. Charizard's Infernal Rain puts 3 fire energy into play. Mega Charizard does 90 damage times the number of fire energy you discard from your Pokemon. Used properly, it can be a way to take a turn 2 KO of something with 360 hit points. Obviously, you'll be low on energy afterwards, but that's a problem for future you. If you want to try and solve that problem, get one Oricorio EX. If any Mega Fire Pokemon EX is in play, Oricorio can accelerate all fire energy in hand to a bench fire Pokemon. So you could technically have Mega Camerupt down, but then you'd have to play Camerupt and no one wants to do that. We'll have to wait until post-rotation for this to be a thing on its own. But for now, add one each of Megazard and Oricorio to a Charizard EX deck and give yourself a pat on the butt from me. Then there's the biggest surprise of the set, Mega Lopunny EX. I thought a 330 hit point 3-prizer weak to fighting would be a bad idea in a world where Mega Lucario is B tier. Instead, it's enjoyed success in a wide variety of decks as a backup attacker who does 230 damage for any 1 energy. While it's cooled off a bit in Japan from the start as hot as it is, Mega Lopunny appears to be something you want at least a 1-1 line of. This way it easily slots into a Golden Go, Charizard, Cerulege, Terrabox, Zoroark, or anything else that plays energy and has switch cards or Jet Energy or Air Balloon. Additionally, Lopunny gives you a way to deal with Mimikyu and Crustle with its second attack, while Gale Thrust deals with Cornerstone Masked Ogerpon. In terms of a solo deck featuring Lola Bunny with Rip Tights, Japanese players started by pairing it with Dusknoir. That's since swapped over to the Poison package with Brute Bonnet and Pecharunt. Should you decide to go this way, you'll want 3 Buneary and 2 Lopunny. Just be aware that it does appear to be coming down to reality somewhat in recent days. We finish with 2 Dark-type Megas, Gengar and Sharpedo. I'm sorry to say that at least in Japan, Gengar has been a massive disappointment. I'm choosing to believe they're like Wanda and they lack the vision, but I can't argue with early results. Despite the fact that it gives your opponent 1 less prize card when they KO your Dark-type Pokemon with damage from an EX's attack, which is a mouthful to say, like the modes in the newest Kirby game, Gengar's not seeing a ton of play. I have plenty of ideas on how to make this work though, mostly because I'm awesome. One fun concept is including just a single copy in Roaring Moon EX along with Grimsley's move. Academy at night the Gengar on top of your deck, play Grimsley, now you have a Mega Gengar in play without needing Gastly or Haunter or Rare Candy. Otherwise, just put a 2-1-2 line or 3-1-2 line with 2 Rare Candy into whatever dark deck you can think of. Toxtricity is your energy accelerator, Seviper is a great attacker. I'm still on the fence about Gengar's overall playability, but I think 2 copies is fair to have, especially at 600 credits each. Though there's a very good chance this is one of the free decks come November 13th, so maybe don't rush to craft it on the 23rd. As for Sharknado, it's an actual deck. I wasn't too chummy with this card when it was first revealed, but upon closer inspection it hits the right numbers. A Stage 1 3-prizer with 330 hit points and free retreat, Sharpedo does 270 damage for 2 darkness if it's damaged. Use Toxtricity to power it up and Monkey Dory to leave 10 damage and you're good to go. Poison it with Pecharunt EX attached by an Emochi of Gravity Mountain in play and you can KO a Stage 2 with 340 hit points all before using Monkey Math. Sharpedo's existence also enables Seviper to deal 240 damage for 3 energy. Both Gengar and Sharpedo are hard to call definite must-owns, but in such a small set, why not craft a 3-3 line of the Shark and experiment? For the regular Pokemon worth crafting, get a 3-3 line of Toxtricity. It accelerates a Darkness energy from deck every turn to a bench Dark type at the cost of putting 2 damage counters on it. And if that's not enough to convince you, look at those feet. Basically, this card is awesome. And the Toxel isn't bad in a pinch either, able to bench 2 basics with its attack. Additionally, you want 1 Seviper. If you have any Dark-type Mega Pokemon in play, like Absol, Sharpedo, or Gengar, it does 240 damage for 3 Darkness. That makes it insane with Toxtricity and one of the best single-prize basic attackers in the game. And should you build a Mega Gengar deck, don't overlook Sableye, who does 90 damage for 1 energy if a Stage 2 Dark-type is in play. According to Japanese tournaments tracked by Limitless, Moltres has appeared in 500 decks, making it by far the most played new Pokemon. A single copy is perfect for everything running Fire Energy, Luminous Energy, or Prism Energy, as the bird does 110 damage to Pokemon EX for 1 fire. That's one-shotting Teal-Masked Ogerpon as well as Dolendo if you attach a Brave Bangle. For someone like Dragapult, it's just a great way to soften things up while you build up your dragons. And I think that's it for the regular Pokemon we're crafting in Phantasmal Flames. Yeah, 94 cards doesn't leave much to work with. That being said, there are some good new pre-evolutions worth owning. The old Charmander isn't going anywhere as it's POF and searchable, but the new one has free retreat and can KO a Badoo for a single energy. You'll definitely want a single copy. As for the new Charmeleon, this guy replaces the old one. 20 extra hit points and a 1 energy attack that can deal 40 damage makes up for the fact that it isn't protected against effects of attacks. Though with Battle Coliseum releasing on the same day, Flare Veil wasn't going to be as important anyway. The new Charcadet's a tough one. I think you want to have 2 as its attack gets 2 energy. But Cerulege wants to attack with Solrock turn 1, not Mini Mega Man. Plus it has a 2 retreat cost, whereas the old one has a 1 retreat cost and KOs Badoo. It's still worth crafting the new one, just don't be surprised if you go back to the Will-O-Wisp Charcadet after a bit of testing. Then we have the new Duraludon and our Chaladon. This is another tough one. Stellar Crown Duraludon allows our Chaladon EX to potentially hit for massive damage using Relicanth. Phantasmal Flames Duraludon needs 3 energy to deal just 70 damage, but it's a guaranteed energy discard. As for the baby Archaladon, you have to evolve into the EX to power it up, but the thing becomes immune to basic attacks, potentially walling Raging Bolt. I think it's worth owning a single copy of each, if only to experiment and see how it goes. There's a few leftover Pokemon you can consider owning, many of whom will appear in my upcoming Road Decks video. The new baby Cerulege does 220 damage for 1 fire at the cost of discarding 4 fire from hand. Cerulege EX and Goldengo EX can use this to their advantage, taking 2 prizes on a lot of weaker EXs while giving up just 1 prize in return. And Reshiram is yet another potential attacker in Ho-Oh Armarouge, dealing 240 damage for 4 fire. Yes, it takes a lot of energy, but being able to one-shot Raging Bolt can't be overlooked. If Mega Venusaur was good, you could include 1 Genesect in there as it's able to snipe bench Pokemon. Though it will require a lot of energy attached to Genesect plus Venusaur and Meganium in play. As for Baby Mamoswine, you could include a single copy in a Mamoswine EX deck as it can deal 240 damage for a reversal or ignition so long as you discard a Stadium. And let's not forget about Paldean Tauros, who can do up to 240 damage for a single fighting, provided you have 6 Tauros in play, all with at least 1 damage counter on them. Add in Premium Power Pro and Brave Bangle, it's a potential huge rogue threat. One very important and very confusing caveat to the cost of crafting each card in Pokemon TCG Live is the Phantasmal Flames Battle Pass. Logic would dictate that the free decks will be Mega Gengar EX and Mega Charizard X EX. After all, they're the mascots of the set. Phantasmal is Gengar, Flames is Charizard. Except the Gengar Mega Battle deck is out 3 weeks ahead of Phantasmal Flames, meaning unless the dev screws up, you'll be able to craft most of those cards in the would-be free deck before they're free. Yeah, like I said, confusing. And we don't yet know which deck will be tier 0 and which will be tier 50, adding more uncertainty. Basically, if you have an excess of credits, craft the cards in the Gengar deck starting on Thursday. If you don't, wait until the 13th and maybe a lot of good Dart-type cards like Toxtricity and Seviper and Mega Gengar will be free, though you might have to reach tier 50 to unlock them. Okay, with all that boringness out of the way, set aside just 9,000 trade credits for all the best cards in Phantasmal Flames, of which there's only 37. That's one benefit of such a small set size, your credits are safe. And if you're wondering about the cards with a foot on them, those will be in either the Mega Gengar or Mega Diancie decks on October 23rd. I did have to guess on a couple rarities, so the final tally could go up or down slightly. Regardless, it'll take less than 10,000 credits to get the strongest cards from a main set before factoring in the Battle Pass free decks, and that's kinda sad. Once we know those Battle Pass free decks around November 6th, I'll include an updated crafting guide at the end of that video as usual. Until then, comment down below what your favorite Mega Pokemon is. As long as it's not Mega Starmie. Only weirdos like Mega Starmie.